Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Penapple and today I'm doing a renovation of a build that Colourful Sims and SimLicy did. So this is a 50-50 build, which means that Colourful Sim built one half of this, like literally split down the middle of the lot, and then SimLicy built the other half. And so I thought it would be fun if I renovated it, and so I asked the permission first. I didn't just like bogart it, like, God, that's such an old word. But yeah, so I guess I'll just hop right in. Right now I am, this is like the most change that I do to the interior walls, and that's because their original idea was that there's an underground vampire lair and the upper half of the house isn't well maintained because they mostly live downstairs. And so I decided to flip that, and so now the downstairs is poorly maintained and the upstairs is really nice. And so I just kind of wanted that staircase to be kind of hidden, because before they had it so that you could only get downstairs if you were a vampire. Now you can get downstairs whether or not you're a vampire, but you can lock the door, so making it so that humans can't get downstairs, only like your vampires. But yeah, so I had to cut out a lot of cobweb clearing and wall hole deleting. Like, I ended up going for about a little over a half hour just going room by room and removing cobwebs and stuff. And if you should definitely go check out their video to see what I'm talking about, how much cobwebs I had to clear. There will be before and after screenshots at the end of this, but you should definitely go check out their videos. Colourful Sims she does kind of a mix of speed builds, and she also does some Let's Plays, sort of storytelling Let's Plays. And so her most popular build is a TARDIS build, which is really cool. And then she also is doing this fairy tale series, and pretty soon she's going to be posting the Little Mermaid season. So that's really exciting. I actually even made a couple of Sims, like just so she can have some mermaidy looking townies walking around. So that's a lot of fun. And then SimLicy is, I think she's pretty much just exclusively a builder. And so, recently her sort of vampire Victorian builds have been trending both on YouTube and on the gallery, and I really like them. And then also she built the Von Haunt Castle, and that was featured in Hatsie's Collywell Estates video. So that's just those two. I just kind of wanted to really give them a nice solid shout out, just because they are both really fantastic builders and people, and I would not be doing this build without them, obviously. Like, I basically just kind of rearranged some furniture, added a couple of new things, changed some colors, and that's about it. Like, what it boiled down to. And I thought this would take a lot less time. Like, I was like, oh yeah, this will probably take me like 2 hours, and it'll probably be just like a 10-minute build. It won't be a big deal. But instead, like 4 or 5 hours later, I'm just like, oh good lord. What have I done? What sort of monster have I created? And so this video is quite long. It's not quite 30 minutes, but that is because I did some pretty heavy cuts. Like, I didn't show me doing any of the bathrooms, except for 2 of them, just because those were the ones where I really just did not change very much. In them, I basically just kind of cleaned them up and was like, I patted him on the back and was like, there you go. Like, go off into life. That's really weird, and I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. But yeah, basically, my sort of story idea about this house was that, it used to be owned by vampires, and they ended up leaving. You know, or maybe there's like one of them hibernating in the basement, or a couple of them. And so before they left, they closed off the entrance to their little lair. And so then, like, years and years later, you know, a rich, you know, couple came along, and they're like, we want to live in this fancy house, but it is really run down and dark and scary, which is supposed to be. They did that very well. And so we're going to renovate it. And so that's kind of my idea. And so I ended up trashing the downstairs, which was a lot of fun, and it really made me see why they added so much like cobwebs and stuff. Because that really did take a while to clear out, which is fine. Like that's what I signed up for. But it was just really funny because even after I spent like that good 30 minutes just clearing out all of that stuff, I kept finding things when I was building, and then when I went to go take screenshots, I found more stuff that I had missed. And so I was just like, oh my goodness, like it was just like throughout the entire build I just kept finding these things that I missed. It was crazy. But this is actually about the point in the build where I really got my direction. At first I was kind of just like, what am I doing? Am I just rearranging the furniture? Am I do what? Because I really wanted to keep the vibe, or you know, the sort of style of this build. I just wanted to kind of flip it and make it lighter, and I had a lot of fun doing that. Like I replaced almost all of the candelabras and candle chandeliers and just candles in general, and like almost all of them, and replaced them with like new lights. And I added like a computer, like some computers to the place, and I added like some updated kitchen appliances and like a TV in the living room. Did I add a TV in? I think I did. Did I? I can't remember. I think I did though. Yes, there it is. I can see it. But yeah, so that's just kind of basically what I was going for. And it was a lot of fun to kind of just change up a lot of stuff, and hopefully I stayed true to the original source material. But yeah, I'm really proud of how I did the staircase down below, because I changed where the bathroom entrance was and made it so that you could still get to the bathroom, and if you weren't thinking too hard about it, you might not even notice that, hey, there's supposed to be a window here. You know, like, oh hey, we're missing like, you know, some space here. And so I thought that was really fun, and really fitting for a lot of old houses, especially because a lot of times people will actually just board up over stuff because they don't want to deal with it. And so then later on people will be like, wait, what? Where did this come from? You know what I mean? And so I think there's actually a little bit of deleting of windows that went on here. I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure what happened to the windows. I might have deleted them just because when I was trying to delete all the stuff, I had to go piece by piece. I couldn't just like click and drag because that deleted a whole bunch of other stuff. But I think I did that a couple times. I might have deleted a window or two, but I added them all back. But yeah, so here I am doing the children's bedroom, and I think it ended up creepier than it was before. Like before it was like, you know, kind of abandoned and disheveled and stuff, but now it's just like too white and pristine and clean, and I don't like it. Also, I hid the nightlights behind the nightstands just because those things did not fit the theme at all of this place, but you have to have them. Otherwise, like, your children wake up in the middle of the night crying and it's obnoxious and everybody hates it now. But yeah, this is one of the bathrooms that I did end up showing just because I really liked what I did with it. And I know I've mentioned this before, but there will be screenshots at the end, like a good solid 3 minutes of screenshots, and usually I'm just kind of like, people can watch the screenshots or not, but this case I really recommend it just because I did, you know, before and after transitions, and I think that's really fun. I mean, who doesn't like before and after pictures? They're like so exciting. But yeah, so here, this I think ends up being my favorite room of the house. It's this bedroom, and I did this downstairs too, but this is SimLicy's half of the house, and she did these really cool curtains, but they like that overarch the curtains that are there now, but they were really like the kind of ragged Halloween curtains that we got, and so I wanted to replace them while still also keeping that sort of sweeping vibe, and I'm really excited that I managed to do that. I think it was a lot of fun, and also I got to use that sort of golden zebra print rug, which I love that thing. I think it's so glamorous, and it really just kind of makes almost any room look good in a way. Like, I'm usually not a huge fan of like animal prints, and I'm especially not a fan of furs. I mentioned this before, but my parents like furs and it drives me crazy. Like once I went to go house sit for them, and I know I've told the story before, but I went to go house sit for them, and I think as a joke, they left one of their furs just like on the bed, and like I literally had a panic attack. Like it freaked me out so much, like because I just like walked into their bedroom to go water my mom's orchids, like, and then they just like jump scared me practically. Well, not really, but yeah, I was just anyways, that was unnecessary and uncalled for, and I still like talking about it to this day because I'm mad. But yeah, so here's the other master bedroom, and this is Colourful Sims' side of the house. She did this side of the house first, and then SimLicy did the other half. I don't know if I made that clear in the beginning. But yeah, I kind of, for a lot of the rooms, I kind of came up with like a theme almost. Like this is the blue room. The kids' bedroom was the white room. I ended up doing a sort of green room, and the kitchen is the yellow room. And actually the kitchen is so yellow and I love it. Like I haven't ever thought of using that wallpaper, like I don't think ever before, and I really like it. And that was Colourful Sims. She did that, and that's kind of what inspired me to make this a brighter build, is that kitchen in particular. But yeah, here's the second of the two bedrooms or bathrooms. You can sleep in here if you want, I guess, in the tub. But yeah, this is the second of the two bathrooms that I did. And this one's more modern. And I don't think it really fits with the vibe of the rest of the house, but I thought it was fun. I know that people, when they renovate houses, they tend to most heavily renovate the kitchen and the bathrooms. So I wanted to kind of go a little bit more all out for this one in particular, because the other ones I kind of just still made them look kind of Victorian. But yeah, here's the green room, and even though I changed the wallpaper, I kept everything else green. And so I really enjoyed that. And I love this the little like sitting nook over there. It's super cute. Also, like, one of the reasons why I went with like lighter tones and whatnot is because of whitewashing. So like whitewashing is a technique where you kind of strip away like the stain of wood, or you paint things white to make it look cleaner. And it's a really easy way to kind of renovate a space. And so that's kind of what I imagine they did for a lot of the spaces. And it actually kind of reminds me of my sort of quasi-grandma. She's a family friend, but she's like practically my grandma. And she did that to her house when her husband passed like a really long time ago. But I always thought it was really cool because she kind of just completely changed around her entire house to kind of take it back and make it her own, so she wouldn't have to constantly be thinking about the person she lost. And I always thought that was really cool and really inspiring. And so I really like the idea of whitewashing a place to kind of bring some life back into it. So I really enjoyed doing that with this build. And so here I am actually adding a ballroom and an office. And so this is because SimLicy didn't do a whole bunch with her basement, and so she actually said that, like, you know, when I asked them if I could do this build, she recommended that I do a sort of ballroom type thing, because after she had built hers, she kind of was like, retroactively was like, I could have done that. And so I did that. I don't know if this is what you had in mind, but I did it. And then I promptly trashed it. Like, I forgot that I was going to trash this, so I was like trying really hard to make it look nice, and then partway through I was like, wait a second, you're just gonna be like throwing a whole bunch of junk in it, like you don't need to care about the placement of this furniture, you're just gonna like toss it around anyways. And so but yeah, so that's what I did. But one thing I did remember is that the downstairs would actually need a bathroom, not for the toilet, but for the hygiene. I think. I haven't played with vampires a huge amount, but I think I would need a bathroom, but I guess you could kind of probably just copy one from up above and sort of slot it in if you wanted to. But yeah, so that's one thing that all of us forgot now is a like a shower for the vampires, or a bathtub, I guess. But yeah, so this section where I sort of build up this new space in the basement and then trash everything of the basement goes on for a bit. And then I will get to doing the exterior, and I really like how I did that. I pre-colored the exterior. Like I basically just whitewashed the bricks. That's like kind of what I thought in my head. And so there wasn't a huge amount of changing that went to like the like actual like stonework and whatnot of the exterior. Like I didn't change any of the gargoyles. I didn't change like the position of the trim really. Like, so that's all basically just the same. I just kind of increased the contrast on it, you know, made it look like somebody really went to it with the power sprayer hose thing. Pressure washer. Those things are terrifying and awesome. If you don't know what a pressure washer is, you should go look it up. Like, and go look up like pressure washing videos, because like people will take like a slab of like concrete or whatever that has like some like moss growing on it, and it's just like completely like dirty, and they'll just take this pressure washer and they'll just go whoosh, like just one swoop, and all of a sudden it's like clean, pristine pavement. And I don't know why I felt necessary to like explain that all just now, but it's one of those kind of oddly satisfying things. But yeah, here is where I finally remembered, hey, you're trashing the basement. You should maybe do that. And so I also, excuse me, I kind of forgot that I could add plants to the basement, because I like got really, really far and I was like, this just doesn't quite look as good as when they did it. And then I was like, oh yeah, I need to add like grass and ferns and stuff. And so I did end up doing that. But yeah, I just, I had so much fun, like, completely flipping this build. Like, I keep patting myself on the back because I'm like, good job, good job. And I realized that I found a really cool stain that I like, and I use it a lot. And it's supposed to be this sort of water stain, but there's another swatch on it. And I hadn't realized that, and it looks like just blood, like oozing from the walls. And I think that's so cool. But yeah, I also added all the scratches, and so I just kind of figured that maybe the old vampires had battled each other out, and that's why maybe they were extinct or had left, or maybe that's why a couple of, like, only one or two were left hibernating in the basement, like, unbeknownst to the owners. Like, one day they're just gonna be like, hey, I have bite marks on my neck from a really big spider, but JK, it's actually a vampire. Oh my goodness. But yeah. But yeah, I actually, really soon you'll get to see, I do this trick that Colourful Sims did, where she sized up yes, here it is, one of the tears, and I tried to kind of make it look like somebody had torn Vlad's face off. I tried to do it on this one too, like, you know, he's kind of supposed to be like this big, powerful vampire, super old, and so I kind of imagined that there was a huge power struggle, and during it, they just kind of purposefully, like, slashed at his face off of the painting. But I just realized that it's snowing outside, so that's exciting. It's snowing pretty hard. It snowed a lot last night over here. It's February, which is a little unusual for us. But I actually finally start work on tomorrow. I'm really nervous. I've had classroom training for it, and I even went to my actual workplace to learn some of the computer system, but I haven't actually started. And my start date got pushed off because I was set to start last Tuesday, because tomorrow's Tuesday. I was set to start last Tuesday and then only work for 2 days, and I had this weird gap, and that was because the person who was training me actually was going on vacation. But then on Monday I got a email that was just like, hey, so one of the other people needs more training, so we're gonna push back your start date. And so that meant it got pushed back a whole week, so that was nice. I managed to like kind of pre-record a lot of stuff, so hopefully work won't be too like as overtaking of my channel as it could be. Like, I have to do homework for work like every day after my shift, so we will see. But yeah, it gave me some time to pre-record, but now I'm worried about the snow because I have to commute about 20 minutes to work, which isn't that far, but I'm going up further north, and so I'm just kind of like really scared of the snow. Like, I mentioned this before in some of my other builds, but I love snow. I love snow. It is my favorite. I want 80,000 feet of snow. Like, I really do, but I also fear snow, and I'm not very good at driving in it, and it really scares me. So I have like this weird like love afraid of relationship with snow, and no. But yeah, so I think it'll be fine. It's supposed to stop snowing tonight. And so hopefully the roads will be clear by tomorrow. I'm hoping. I don't know. While I'm talking about this, like, my stomach is going into a huge knot. But yeah, I know I've been talking about work for like a while now on my channel, but it's just such a long process for me to actually start working. So, and I'm just going to be shadowing tomorrow, really. But anyway, so I think I'm getting close to the end of sort of messing up the downstairs. I ended up taking one of the statues off in the living room, and I thought that was really fun, kind of like somebody like knocked it over. And then here I did the books. The books was fun. The books were really annoying to clean up upstairs, but I see why they put down so many, because the books were fun. But yeah, I also kind of tried to make the coffin room look a little disheveled. It didn't really... There was less to work with in the coffin room because it was already kind of spooky. But yeah, there was also this sort of big, I think octagonal. I think that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's octagonal. Oh goodness. I'm pretty sure it's octagonal. Watch it not be octagonal. I just can't count. But, this was just kind of a blank room, and that's because you'd have to put a staircase in one of the bedrooms, but I just decided to do that. So the original sort of master bedroom that Colourful Sims made, I made it smaller so that you could have a staircase up here, and I turned this into sort of an art nook. And so that was a lot of fun. And you can see that in the screenshots too. That's like the most dramatic one, just because you go from a blank space to like that. So that was a lot of fun. But here I wanted to include these sort of plasma trees that were put in, and like it was really cool. It reminded me of, like, I ended up taking out a tile in the middle, like right out from the stairs, which I made functioning. They weren't functioning before, but I thought that would be one of the things that would get like fixed up. But I put a tree there, and it kind of reminds me of the Tree of Gondor, which is a Lord of the Rings reference. And no, I didn't really read the books. I watched the movies. But my dad read the books to me when I was really little, like when I was 5 years old. He read Lord of the Rings to me every single night, and we made it all the way through. My memories from that mostly consist of me stacking my stuffed animals as high as I could make them go while he was reading it to me. So I was a bit too young to really appreciate the books, but I've seen the movies. Oh goodness. But yeah, so I'm mostly just doing the landscaping now, and this took a little bit of time. Here is the Tree of Gondor. Soon it's about where that trash can's gonna be, and I just thought it really looked cool. And I also added some plasma trees in front, and I thought they just like were like a cool, like, oh, the people thought this plant looks really cool, and they didn't really know what it actually was. I also kept the Venus flytraps. I didn't actually touch SimLicy's maze. I did take out some of the cobwebs and whatnot, but I didn't actually touch it. Other than that, I just kind of left it because I thought I thought it already looked really good in green. And here you can see there's a plate in the lawn, and that's because that was a plate put in to make the house look dirtier, and I couldn't delete it. There are some things that you get from buy debug mode that you can't delete. You have to go in game and have a sim like wash the plate, or I think with like the coffin you have to have them like do something or other. But yeah, so I couldn't delete that plate, so I just had it out on the lawn the entire time I was building until I finally put a sim in here, and that was the first thing I did. I was like, okay, now go wash this plate. But we are coming up on the end of the build. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this renovation. If you did, feel free to give me like a comment or subscribe, especially if you're interested in seeing my next build. Definitely go check out Colourful Sims and SimLicy. I will leave their links in the description box down below. I hope that you guys are all having a great day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!